Hey there, I've been wanting to give a summary on some of my readers so you could get a sense of the work that we're doing here in Argentina and just the ways that it's been beneficial for us and for hopefully the readers as well, for hopefully the church as well, and the kingdom also. But I don't have a keyboard and I prefer to type over text, so I'll record the video because that's just the easiest way to do it. So first of all, I have one reader who believes the Bible is true, but she believes it has been changed. So she believes that after death, you either earn your way up or you earn your way down. We got to this conversation from reading over Luke 22 and talking about when the parable that Jesus said with Lazarus. So the way the Let's Start Talking is set up with all this short readings from Luke, expecting to go deep, it really just opens it up to giving you an opportunity to talk with people about their beliefs. I've never in my life been able to talk and get a sense of what a person's deep beliefs are within the first meeting, within the first 20 minutes of talking to them. So on my first reader, she was just really strong in English. She read through her paragraph and a half or so quickly. And then I asked her to summarize, and that's where it's supposed to get a little bit harder if you're a language learner. Well, she summarized in all her own words and really quickly, and then I had 20 minutes over and I was supposed to spend 25 more minutes with her, and I'm like, oh, so what else do we talk about? Each of these readers, it seems we will see them either twice a week or once a week. We would really prefer to see them more often. But we have to work with what's available with their schedule and what the church is wanting to do here. The next person I met was just very nice. She has a good religious background. She's actually said that she's fasted for religious purposes in the past. But she says it's been a while since she has looked at the story of Jesus, and she really likes how our studies refresh her mind on what it's all about. I also met a member of the church here who's actually from Haiti, and he's more of a beginner level English, and so it's really hard to do application questions with him. He told me that he's interested in being an evangelist, and that got me really excited because ever since I was a teenager, evangelism was an area I was interested in and not great at practicing it, would love to be better. And I have a guy who says for his career he wants to be an evangelist. And so I start asking, how does he want to do this? I didn't find out until later talking to one of the ministers here. That evangelists are the names of basically the preachers of the church. So maybe there was a little bit of misunderstanding of what he wants to be, but I know preachers evangelize too. But anyway, he is big on practicing and always saying, I'm going to be better the next lesson. We've missed quite a few readers because they'll be sick or they have this college schedule. Apparently it's like winter break over here. But probably the conversation I was most excited about having, I had today with this woman who has a science background. I think she's been a professor, and she's agnostic. I asked if we could start by praying, and she said she would rather not because she does not believe in religion. She says she has a Catholic background. She says that as she reads over these selections in Luke, she finds some contradictions, and she always brings them up. And this got me excited because I love finding anything that seems like it contradicts in the Bible and asking questions and digging into it and trying to figure out what it really means. So I told her I was really excited to talk with her. She was actually a higher level English speaker as well, so she could do good summaries, she could do applications, and we got into this discussion. What were we reading? something about good and bad. The Pharisees didn't appreciate that Jesus was going to Levi, the tax collector's house. And they categorized people by good and bad. And I'm like, she's a deep thinker. She's into evaluating things. So I wanted to bring up the moral argument with her and the moral law. So I went about the route, what determines what's good or what's bad. Talked to her about how one society might think this is good and this is bad. And she brought up some of her own examples, how this is true, how some societies do something that most of us think are really evil. And I said, well, there has to be one good, clear way, because if we all agree that this society may be wrong for doing evil, then there must be one judge for where this evil comes from. For there must be a perfect measure of goodness. She said she understood what I was saying, but she said she thinks it's hard to get all humanity to agree on a law. And I said, I believe there is a law. I believe that God gave us the law. Told her about Jesus and the 2 rules that he told us. Love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. She told me about a woman who had 2 kids in, I believe, Bolivia, twins. And she killed one because she couldn't supply for the food, and that they did that in that culture. And I asked her, do you think that's wrong? And she said, it's hard to say. And I said, yeah, I mean, is it wrong or is it judgmental? Or is it judgmental of us to believe that's wrong? And I ended up telling her, I believe it's actually wrong, and I believe it's wrong because according to God, it's wrong. But I also believe God understands that through our cultures, we get used to some things that are wrong, and so we often do things that are wrong, but God is very forgiving, and that's where his grace comes in. Another reader, he just comes and he likes to take notes. He says he was raised Catholic, but he doesn't know the Bible, so he's more of a beginner to intermediate level. And so he's great at reading. I can understand what he says. He's good at conversational, but he has this list of vocabulary he's keeping. And when I ask him to summarize, he struggles. And he said it's because he wasn't raised knowing the Bible. He says in the Catholic Church, they do things differently where they don't cite where the scriptures come from. And he says that these studies are really rich. So I've been trying to encourage my readers to download Parallel Plus, because it's a great Bible app that I use to read the Bible in both English and Spanish. And one of our struggles here is we like to read our Bible before bed, but the internet doesn't work in our room, so we have to do all our reading out here or on a physical Bible. But anyway, I wanted to give you an update on some of the deep conversations that we have been having with some of our readers. I may have missed one. I put his notes in a different area. Oh yeah, I have another reader. He gives a lot of great personal conversation, and he gives Bible-approved answers, but has difficulty with application. So I guess it's just a struggle sometimes to learn both the Christian story and a new language at the same time. But Let's Start Talking is a great way to start talking to people. And one of the things I like to practice or study apologetics. This woman who I got so excited to talk about, I got to practice apologetics with her because she had a deeper understanding of the English language. Plus, I mean, these people are smart. They don't know our language very well, but they're intelligent. And it lets me practice at a slower pace, so I feel more confident with it. So thank you for your support in sending us to Argentina for Let's Start Talking. And please continue your prayers. We are hoping to do great things with God's help for God's kingdom.